All right, for the next few minutes, we are taking a trip to the future, specifically to the Egypt of 2030. Now, this isn't some kind of science fiction. Nope. This is a journey based on a massive national blueprint that is already well under construction. So let's dive in and see what this new era is really all about. I want you to just imagine this for a second. You wake up, it's the year 2030. What do you see? I'm not talking about a few small changes here and there. I'm talking brand new highways crisscrossing the country, ports absolutely bustling with global trade, new factories rising up out of the desert, and entire gleaming cities where there was once just sand. It's a really powerful image, and it's right at the heart of what we're exploring today. So what will Egypt actually look like? We're going to go way beyond just wishful thinking and look at the real, tangible plans, the projects that are already on the ground, and the official strategy that is actively reshaping the nation as we speak. You see, what's happening in Egypt isn't just a random bunch of construction projects. It is all part of a single massive strategy, a master plan called Egypt Vision 2030. You can really think of it as a complete system update for an entire country. So what is Vision 2030 really? At its core, it's a national strategy with one crystal clear goal: to completely transform the economy and put Egypt right up there among the world's top 30 economic powers. The whole plan is to shift from an economy that has, for a long time, just consumed, to one that actively produces, manufactures, and exports its own goods to the rest of the world. This entire vision is being powered by three main engines of growth, and they all build on each other. First up, you need modern infrastructure, the roads and ports you need to move everything. Second, you need a revived industrial sector to actually create the goods that are going to move on that infrastructure. And third, you have to establish Egypt as a regional energy hub to power the whole thing. Let's start with the foundation. First up, infrastructure. I mean, you can't have a modern economy without modern arteries to move goods and connect people, right? This is probably the most visible part of the plan, building the circulatory system for a whole new era of commerce. And the change here is, well, it's like night and day. If you remember Egypt just a decade ago, you probably remember the crumbling roads and the soul-crushing traffic. Today, a completely new national road network has been built, connecting the entire country in a way that just wasn't possible before. And we're talking about a huge scale here, over 7,000 kilometers of new roads. And listen, this isn't just about patching up old potholes. This is about carving entirely new economic arteries straight through the desert, linking up industrial zones, new cities, and modern ports for the very first time. So, why is this such a big deal? Well, for the economy, it is an absolute game changer. Goods can now get from a factory to a port in half the time. That slashes transportation costs, which makes Egyptian products way more competitive and, of course, attracts investment. So it's not just asphalt, it's economic fuel. Okay, so if the roads are the arteries, then the modern ports are the heart, pumping all those goods into the global trade system. And this has been another area of just massive focus. And the strategy for the ports is really smart. Over on the Red Sea, Sakna Port is being turned into a huge logistics hub. Then on the Mediterranean, you have East Port Said, which is perfectly positioned to capture traffic on that critical Asia to Europe trade route. And it's not just about building new things. Older ports, like Alexandria, are getting a total facelift. But maybe the most important upgrade is the simplest. They're deepening the channels, which finally allows the world's biggest megaships to dock. That puts Egypt right on the main line of global trade. Okay, so the arteries are built. Now what's going to flow through them? This brings us to the second big engine of the plan, reigniting Egypt's industrial and energy sectors. The goal is to fill all those new roads and ports with Egyptian-made goods. This chart really shows you the fundamental shift that they're going for. The goal is to move away from an economy that has historically leaned really heavily on services like tourism, which, as we know, can be pretty volatile. Instead, the focus is on building a much stronger mix, driven by industry, logistics, and energy. The sectors that create stable, long-term jobs and bring in reliable foreign currency. And the ambition here is beautifully simple and powerful: to turn Made in Egypt into a globally recognized mark of quality. This isn't about just churning out cheap stuff. It's about developing valuable, competitive products, everything from pharmaceuticals and electronics to high-tech agricultural exports. Now, alongside industry, there's another absolutely critical pillar, especially for a nation of over 100 million people, and that's agriculture. But this isn't just another economic sector. This is a matter of national security. Let's be real, when your population is growing as fast as Egypt's, being able to feed your own people is the absolute foundation of stability and independence. So, the strategy has been to completely rethink the agricultural map of the entire country. The strategy here is basically two-pronged: expand and improve. First, expansion, with these massive projects like the New Delta, which aims to cultivate millions of new acres way outside the crowded Nile Valley. Second, improvement, focusing on becoming self-sufficient in key crops like wheat and using modern irrigation to get more bang for every drop of water. And you can already see the results. I mean, Egypt is now the world's #1 exporter of oranges. That's pretty amazing. But wait a minute. How in the world do you water millions of new acres in the middle of the desert? This is where some serious innovation comes in. The plan includes what is basically an artificial river. It collects all kinds of water sources, even agricultural drainage water that used to be wasted, puts it through an advanced triple treatment process, and then pumps it deep into the desert. This creates a brand new, stable water source completely independent of the Nile, securing the future of all this new farmland. So, all this economic development needs people, right? And those people need places to live and work. This brings us to the final, massive piece of the puzzle: the creation of dozens of new cities designed to completely reshape the country's demographics. And this quote, wow, it just cuts right to the human heart of the issue. These new cities aren't just about impressive buildings. They are a direct answer to a very real, very painful problem: an attempt to save an entire generation from the almost impossible task of finding an affordable home in overcrowded cities like Cairo. So the goal isn't just to build more suburbs, it's to create entirely new, self-sustaining economic hubs. These cities are being designed with their own jobs, their own services, their own industries, and a huge focus on affordable social housing. The whole point is to relieve the incredible population pressure on Cairo and offer young people a better, more organized quality of life. As we start to wrap this up, this quote really puts everything into perspective. None of this was inevitable. The people behind this plan believe that Egypt's future has always been a choice, and the choice they made over the last decade was to start this enormous project of national reconstruction. And so we end with this question. The foundation, the roads, the ports, the first new cities, it's all being laid right now. But the challenges are absolutely immense, and success is going to depend on sustained effort and real investment. The blueprint is there, but the final building, well, that remains to be seen. It's for sure a fascinating project to watch as we head towards 2030.